National Hockey League fake news. It's a lot of fake news.
How about that?
These players, Steven Stamkos, Shea Weber, and Mark Giordano, do you know what these three all have in common? They're all the captains of their hockey clubs. If you believe that any one of those guys isn't going to be playing for their current team next year, you are an idiot.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is good morning, Canada, or Western Canada. Good afternoon to those in the eastern part of the world on this continent. Don't mind me. I'm just tweeting, Darren.
All right.
Moose DuPont's here. Here we go. Football Friday for Flame Tech. Live now. Boom. Gone.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
Let's go.
Let's roll.
You can watch on Game Plus Television. Watch on YouTube. Watch on Facebook. Listen live at rodpedersen.com, and away we go. It is a lot of football today for 2 hours. Coming up, AJ Jakubic, the voice of the Ottawa Red Blacks. And I might add the Ottawa Blackjacks, by the way, of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. AJ is going to be joining us from the nation's capital, Ottawa, Ontario. And from Post Media, the best-selling author, the beat writer for the Leader Post newspaper covering the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Rob Vanstone. He's coming up in hour 2. This here is what we call the warm-up, where we will cover a lot of football-related topics, but also everything else that is going on in sports today. And Moose, I don't know if you've noticed, it's a hot one.
Oh, yeah. 34 or 5 this afternoon.
91, actually.
91. Like
for our American friends.
Well, I've started using both, too, and because we have viewers down there, and it's hot. But you know what? I love it. It can be hot. I'm here for that.
I'm loving this, too. Patrolman Pete's watching. Let's give him a ring of the bell. Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg. Going to hit up as many sponsors as I can. Four Seasons, Sports Palace, Suds Car Wash. Let's go. How about Capital Auto Mall, Prairie Mobile Communications?
Hit them all.
Direct West. Hit them all. But if you like what we're doing here on a daily basis, please support our sponsors. It's what keeps us on the air. I really wasn't ready to go, Moose. We have a live studio audience here as usual. Tristan, I'm going to give you one opportunity. Yell hi or yell something. Hi. There you go. We got Tristan here. We got Tristan. There you go. So we've been hosting him and having fun here today. So I didn't get everything lined up and ready to go. Football Friday is brought to you by Flame Tech, locally owned and operated industry leaders in commercial and industrial combustion technology. And maybe we'll see Denton, who runs Flame Tech, as we head to Saskatoon tonight, which is coming up. The reason why in our Quick Six show topics, please hit that, Director Jordan, if you don't mind. Nobody's more upset than Jordan. I asked him why he doesn't have his convertible out, and he doesn't have it plated. The man with far too many cars.
I know. Right?
This is the time that you want your top off.
He's Regina's Jay Leno.
He's Regina's Jay Leno. Absolutely. Okay, number one, not to start off on a downer per se, but the number one Quick Six show topic is the Canadian Football League announcing on Thursday 10 positive COVID tests in pre-training camp. This was not new. We fortunately got familiar with this in our work with the Western Hockey League, Major Junior, where every week, the WHL would announce positive tests. And I don't know, was the NHL doing that? I can't remember.
But they didn't have any.
Pardon me?
But they didn't have any positive tests.
True. But 10 plus in the CFL, but the camps are still going on. So all I can guess is that away they roll towards August 5th. Point two, that's really all I have to say on that. I have more CFL notes that we'll get to because it is a Flame Tech Football Friday, and it is Canada. But point two, Saints defensive lineman David Onyemata suspended for a banned substance. I think players, when they're found guilty, test positive for banned substances, there's like a handbook. Because did you see his statement, by the way, on this?
The same as everybody else's statement on this.
That's what I didn't know. I'm sorry. Wasn't aware of what I was putting in my body. I should have been more aware of what I was putting in my body, so my bad. He's not appealing. He's basically admitting guilt and saying he'll do better next time. He played at the University of Manitoba. I think he was raised in Winnipeg, right? I saw this. It's 3 Down Nation has the whole story on this, but he was a draft choice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but he never will see hide nor hair of the Canadian Football League because he's been great for the Saints on one of the best teams in the National Football League, but he's going to miss part of 2021 because of a positive banned substance. And he didn't know what he was putting into his body. His bad. Point 3, Toronto Argonauts head coach Ryan Dinwiddie says he's getting impatient with wide receiver Martavis Bryant. And listen, these guys know. You use the term coach speak. We all take what they say as face value, and I'm sure that Ryan Dinwiddie is getting very impatient with Martavis Bryant, but I got to say this. What did you think you were getting, guys, with Martavis Bryant? That he was going to miraculously have this makeover as a human being and show up and be a choir boy? He hasn't even showed up yet, let alone become a choir boy. Now, the Argos are my boys, fast becoming probably my rooting interest in the Canadian Football League for this year anyways. Those are my guys. Dinwiddie, love him. Murph, love him. Pinner, love him. But what did they expect with Martavis Bryant? It's passport issues. It's still passport issues, but this guy was basically booted out of the National Football League. You would like, because Paxton Lynch showed up and has been completely humble, right? It was very honest of him to say, I didn't realize the CFL is such a difficult league. And I'd like to get back to the NFL. Martavis Bryant just acting like this is from what I've read, this is an annoyance to him to come to Canada and continue his career. See the difference?
Yeah, no, it does. And unfortunately, we're not at the border with Martavis Bryant and know what's going on. And he might actually be hung up with real passport issues. Maybe he didn't get it renewed. Maybe there's something on his record that we're not talking about or whatever. And maybe there's real issues. But your reputation comes with you, man. Everywhere you go, that reputation follows you. And if you're a difficult person, if you've had trouble in the past, our first thought is that there's trouble here, and here's Martavis Bryant being difficult again. And it might not be the case, but as long as he's not here, we're going to continue to think that and wonder, and Dinwiddie's going to be impatient. And you signed this guy from the NFL to see what he's got, and Ryan Dinwiddie is slowly running out of time to make some really key decisions in a really crowded receiver group, and he wants Martavis Bryant to be a part of that. He might not even ever get a chance.
They'll be fine without Martavis Bryant. The Martavis Bryant, I believe, needs the CFL more than the CFL needs Martavis Bryant, nor the Toronto Argonauts. And by the way, before I move on, here is our ranking for the Rough Riders fans that are watching right now. Here's a ranking of the quarterbacks by somebody from the team, because they're on the field right now as we're on the air every day. So I haven't seen them. But number 1, this is an order of play, 1 through 5. Number 1, Cody Fajardo. Number 2, Isaac Harker. Number 3, Mason Fine. 3B, Paxton Lynch. And number 4, Tom Flacco. And the notes are, Cody looks great. He's pushing the ball. Wouldn't be surprised if he led the league this year. Mason Fine and Paxton Lynch are doing pretty well. Flacco's no slouch. It's a really good quarterback room. So that's the report from the Rider Nation. There's your ranking of what the guys have done here through 6 days of training camp. It is Flame Tech Football Friday, but we're just going to sashay over to something else. Point 4, the quick show topics here in the warm-up, which is brought to you, of course, by Ecol Electric. Come check out our new Regina Data and Lighting Center. Ecol Electric, let's get to work. Number 4, NHL protected lists. I'm sorry, I'm getting tingles about these protected lists will be announced on Saturday. I'm sensing that this country is very excited about. Can you guys do us a favor? When you're announcing these protected lists, all 30 teams, because Vegas isn't, don't just do the protected list. Can you do the guys you're not protecting? It would save us a lot of time.
I know.
If you notice that.
Because you want to see, okay, they protected these guys. But who's available?
Right.
I want to look at the list. Okay, who can they pick? Because that's what I want to look at. I want to look at who's available.
Every league does it. It's not just an NHL thing. But every night this week, I've been watching TSN's That's Hockey or, of course, SportsCenter. Craig Button's on there. And last night it was the Canucks list. And I can't remember who else. He's been doing all Canadian teams this week. And I'm like, well, that's not much to go on. Like the line from Slapshot.
Yeah.
That's not much to go on, Reg. Give us the guys that are available. Just save us a lot of time. But it's interesting, too, by the way. He said about the Vancouver Canucks, he's like, this is really easy. And you look at that list for the Vancouver Canucks, which aired last night, and I'm like, They should be better. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent there. Very good in goal. I've long said I'm a Travis Green fan. I've been saying that since they've been trying to skid him out of there 5 years ago. What is missing with the Vancouver Canucks? Unless there just isn't enough quality depth, I'm missing something.
Yeah, there's some continuity issues.
And that was the team that you thought was going to be number one.
Well, I did, but the continuity issues were bigger than I thought. And as much as Thatcher Demko is capable of being a really good starting goaltender in the National Hockey League, they really missed Markstrom. And he never had quite the same level of success in Calgary that he did in Vancouver. But sometimes a fit is a fit, right? And, Chris Tanev, Tyler Toffoli, those were two really big pieces up front and on the back end. And you start to lose some of those identity pieces. And sometimes the locker room just doesn't hold up, even if you have Besser and even if you have, some of the, Pedersen and some of the top end talent that Vancouver has. They'll be fine. They're going to continue to get better. But those guys, are more important than you think, even if they're not showing up on the score sheet every night.
William May watching in Canada's only border city. Lloydminster says the Jets were the other team, Rod, and thank you for the reminder. And that was a pretty easy list, too, I think, for Craig Button to do and their general manager, Kevin Cheveldayoff. You know who the goalie's going to be. You know who the defense is going to be. Great group of forwards. They're going to be good. But the only, two teams that I looked at the list that Craig Button put out there, and Ottawa was one where I was like, eee. But they're young. They're very, very young.
Yeah.
And we didn't see Ottawa a ton this year. The fans in Eastern Canada did. I mean, we saw them more than we normally do, but we think they're going to make a major step. Wasn't it Mark Mathot that said they're going to make the playoffs next year?
They're going to make a really big step. I mean, they've got the young players, Tkachuk, Stützle. There's some other really good young pieces.
Maybe because it's Ottawa, but they don't have Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner.
That's right.
Zach Hyman. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I think the Leafs list is Deese. Edmonton didn't look that exciting either. Any more on this?
No, it's good.
I wrote down what Jason Gregor said the other day, who the Oilers might lose. It was not a tantalizing list, Darren. Cahoon, Kara, Benson, Russell. Some guy named Lagesson?
Not really worried about who you're going to lose if you're Edmonton. And, and you shouldn't be. I mean, we don't know. They're talking about, we said yesterday, Giordano might not be protected, and he might be gone. A new team needs some veteran leadership, even if you're taking a guy only for a couple of seasons. If I'm Edmonton, I'm not overly worried about losing a key piece here because you only have a few.
Glad to hear you say that about Giordano and stuff because I was, again, watching That's Hockey, and they're talking about Shea Weber. And now here's the latest. He might not even play next year. He's that hurt. So they might leave him unprotected and say, Seattle, if you take him, that's a real risk. I'm sitting there watching that going, they wouldn't. Yeah, they would.
Oh, yeah, they would. Oh, yeah,
you know
they
exactly
would.
what I'm saying.
Exactly.
They're putting a smoke screen out there going, hey, Seattle, if you're dumb enough to take this guy, because we don't even know if he can play. It's that playing possum, as we say it out here. Is that a worldwide term?
I hope so.
But the possums, they just lay dead on the road like they're dead. And then when the cars go by, it's, right? They're playing possum with Shea Weber. And really, when you think about it, will Ron Francis, the general manager of the Seattle Kraken, be able to get access to a medical report of Shea Weber? I don't think so.
No, but Ron Francis is a hockey guy. He can find somebody in the Okanagan that'll connect to somebody that will know Shea Weber, and they're going to do their due diligence on all of these guys. You're not going to, I hope we're past the days of drafting a dead person or, guys who aren't going to play or guys who already have career-ending injuries.
Yep.
I think we're past that, but you just never know what these guys are thinking. It's a huge game of chess. Big game of chess.
Darren picked up what I was saying, but he gets me more than most people. What I'm saying is they wouldn't lie. These teams don't lie, right?
And then he meets a doctor and has a miracle recovery.
Poof! He's fine.
The car drives
on
by.
July 22nd. Yeah. 0.5, the Blue Jays. We don't have time for this now. We'll do it later. A second half outlook. It's my commentary today on Cat Country 98 FM and Rock 98.5. Go listen to that. Or go read it at rodpedersen.com. They're saying the Jays got to win 45 games in the second half, and they might. The problem is they're 8 games off the pace. Now, we remember the years they were 25 off the pace when they came back from the All-Star break. So they are a contender. It's just they got a lot of work left to be done. But dang, they're exciting. CEBL, we are going tonight to SaskTel Center. We're going to be watching the Guelph Nighthawks, the Saskatchewan Rattlers, Canadian Elite Basketball League play, and we can't wait. We're going to be courtside, and I thank the Rattlers for that. Fear the Fang. The Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center poll question today is, are you still carrying a mask with you? 71% on Twitter saying yes, and what are they saying?
Yeah, 73% say yes on Facebook.
Yeah. Can I say, here's my answer. Yes, when I remember. Tristan's waving his. He's got his. When I remember. But most places, I'm not wearing it.
I've never been into a place in this province since we've been open where I've had to wear it.
Yeah.
I carry it in everywhere. I carry it with me, and if I walk in and everybody's got it on, I'll put it on. That hasn't happened yet. I've walked in and 1 out of 10 people might be wearing theirs. So I feel pretty comfortable. I just don't want to disrespect anybody. So I carry it, but I don't wear it.
Quick text on the Prairie Mobile text line. Jamie says, hello from foggy Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia today. The Argos seem like the front runners to win the Grey Cup with Charleston Hughes and company signing in TO, but I can't count out the Red Blacks either. He goes on to talk about COVID in the Maritimes. He says, the buzz in Halifax about a possible CFL team is gaining traction again. Oddly enough, I was just thinking about that the other day, and I don't know what made me think of it. Stephen in North Dakota watching, Crosby, North Dakota. He says, there can only be 6 of me in the stands at one time. Ratio rule. Wah, wah, wah. That is an inside CFL joke right there. 6 feet apart. No, we don't have that in Saskatchewan. And I don't think you have it in North Dakota. Fire it up.
Fire it up.
Fire the cannons.
How about that?
We're filling the stadium.
Yes, do it.
That's from USA, North Dakota, import fan number 13, Stephen in Crosby, North Dakota. This has been the warm-up for Ecole Electric. And when we come back, AJ Jakubic, the voice of the Ottawa Red Blacks and the Ottawa Blackjacks and the 67s and the Senators and every other team, the Fury in the nation's capital. I think he must be a good friend of Justin Trudeau's. We'll find out when we come back. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.